Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book fiends. Hi. Welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am your horror host for this evening. I'm Gary. I'm also the Dark Librarian. And here we are in October, Spooktober, spooky month. And at the Halloween fast approaching. And here are, I just wanted to show a few books here that fit in with the theme. I didn't want to, I was wanting to do all of these, and I said, well, I'll just do them all in one video instead of individually. Some spooky stuff. And it's classic Halloween fare. Okay, and we're going to start with a little look at the Usborne Graphic Classics Dracula. This is a graphic novel. This is adapted by Russell Punter and Valentino Forlini. Yeah, he's an Italian artist. This book is from 2017, of course, based on Bram Stoker's novel. Look how thick that is. So it's a regular graphic novel. Look at this. It even starts off with a map of the world of Dracula in Europe, 1897, when the story takes place. It has the route the ships took coming from and going back to Romania. And it is I've got this a little over a year ago. It's a graphic novel. I was completely unfamiliar with this series of classic graphic novels. I found it a little over a year ago not even in a bookstore. It was in a kind of a little knick-knack place and store, and they had this little corner where they had a variety of children's books, and including a whole rack of this series of graphic novels from Usborne, various other classic novels. So I picked the most interesting one, and they were like $10 a piece. And I haven't seen any of these elsewhere. I don't know where you actually get them. I just got it if you're looking for them. It's a graphic novel. It's a good adaptation of the Bram Stoker novel, except it's told a little more coherently instead of all in letters and diary entries. And it's the classic tale. If you've seen some of the movies, of course, it's a little of the same. Especially the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, which follows it pretty closely. And this is when Jonathan Harker gets to Castle Dracula. It's a decent interpretation of a castle. Now the artwork in here is I was a little put off at first, just because it's not something I would have thought for a horror novel. But also remember, this is actually intended as kids, for kids. The artist, as he is an Italian artist, works on Italian publications, magazines, comics, as well as some animation work. And this really has a very animated look and feel to it, to the line work and stuff. And like I said, the visual storytelling is very nice, very nicely done. Some really nice draftsmanship. It just does not really. Here's one of the Dracula's brides, and Jonathan Harker is trapped in the castle, and the artwork is really nice, but it just cannot. Of course, no one can compare to Gene Colan's version of Dracula from his tenure on Tomb of Dracula in the 1970s. This is his conveyed the mood and the horror and just so much better. But this is very nicely drawn and nicely told. Oh, no, the wolf shack crashes through the glass. Oh, here we are. Then we're getting back there. Oh, what's this one? Was it Lucy? Lucy is disposed of. Oh, here's at the end when they're catch him disposing of Dracula's brides in his castle and all this other stuff and all the rats and stuff. It's very nicely done. Not my favorite though, but and then here we have, this is from 1977, Marvel Classics Comics. They had a whole series back then doing all kinds of classic novels. Basically took the place of Classics Illustrated after they ceased publication. And I'm not positive, but I think these were originally done for another publisher to do smaller paperback editions, because I have seen some of them that were the same as in the Frankenstein, the Marvel Classics comics. So this has a really nice, really great Ernie Chan cover, and of course, it's a relatively faithful adaptation of the Frankenstein novel by Mary Shelley. And it's 52 pages, no ads. So of course they have to cut stuff down to make it fit. But I got several of the. I wish I'd gotten more, and I wish I'd gotten more of the horror stuff, because I used to get several of these, and a lot of them I don't have anymore. But you've got to be aware, this has absolutely no affiliation to the Monster of Frankenstein series from that Marvel produced in the 70s. Because this, of course, this is from 1977. But the interior art, it was written by John Warner, and the interior art is by John Costanza. And it is also very nicely done, very nice storytelling and stuff. The only problem I've got is that the creature probably is too attractive, because they have scenes where people think he's a horror. I think they're in the story, where they're thinking he's a monster and stuff, but he doesn't look like a monster. He looks like a normal human with just pale complexion and stitches. And of course, it is a relatively faithful representation of the re-representation of the Mary Shelley novel. Here you see was when he's learning to fear fire, and the story when it's terrorizing. The creature is terrorizing Frankenstein, killed Frankenstein's little brother and stuff. And this was the part when he's retelling his own story to Frankenstein, how he, after his creation, he left and tried to make his way in the world and hiding and learning stuff, and now trying to have him create a mate for him. But it's beautifully drawn. It's not as dynamic as a lot of them. Actually, it looks more artistically. It looks more like a romance novel. There, and then we come to the conclusion, to the end, and there's a drawing of Mary Shelley. Nicely done. And then we're keeping with the Frankenstein theme. Here is the big one. Marvel Illustrated novel of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, illustrated by Bernie Wrightson with an introduction by Stephen King. And this book is from 1983. It has been reprinted several times. It's available in hardback. I don't know if it was originally in hardback and then trade paper or the other way around. And but as far as I can tell, this is an edition from '83. I can't be sure that it's the first edition. I'd have to find, but of course it is the text of the novel, interspersed with the magnificent illustrations done by Bernie Wrightson over, I think it was 4 years, 3 or 4 years it took him to do this. Of course, all that time he was also working on other projects. But here's like the end papers, and in the backside, the end papers, right at the conclusion of the story. Oh, that's nice. And of course, as I said, the text. You can see, and he did the art style in the style of woodcuts, illustrated woodcuts from the time that would have been in books at the time of the story takes place. Oh, here's the creation of the creature. Oh, look at that. And it's very dark, very brooding, very horrifying. Of course, Bernie Wrightson was one of the best artists for this type of material. This is a classic illustration right there of the creature confronting his creator before he runs off. And here it is running off. Later in the story, the lady is hung. She was accused of killing Frankenstein's little brother when it wasn't him. It wasn't her. Their confrontation with the creature on the glacier. And telling the story how he was being harassed and how he found a home and hiding out. Again, look at the beautiful artwork. I mean, this was so time and labor intensive doing this style of the artwork. I guess it caused him some problems, some health problems as well too. Oh, look at that. See, and it's obviously pen and ink, but it looks like a great woodcut from the period. Oh, and here, look at that one. Trying to assemble a female. And then look at all the detail in that background. My gosh. And where is this is what's used on the cover. This double page spread. This must have taken him days, if not weeks, to draw all of this stuff. And then our focus center of attention is over here, but it's got this whole thing for the double page spread. And there are thousands of little details in here with bottles and jars and retorts and little knickknacks and knives and you name it. There's a bucket of stuff up there, and it's just a marvelous piece of work by Bernie Wrightson, and is probably his magnum opus. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share with you this time. Just a look at some really nice, spooky looking stuff. Oh, so thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do leave your comments down below. Have you seen any of these versions of these books? Do you have them? Read them? What do you think of course, the one that's most likely to be known is the Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein. So let me know what you think of his version of Frankenstein. What do you think of the comic adaptation of Frankenstein? And let me know what you think of the comic adaptation of Dracula. As I said, it's artistically, it's fine. It's really good. It's just not Ernie Gene Colan. That's all I have to say. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do remember, comics are art.